This is 8 things we wish we knew before our first bikepacking trip.
Hi everyone, if you're new here, I'm Liz and this is my husband Alex, and we have bikepacked thousands of miles now at this point in North America and in Europe, and we had to learn a lot of things the hard way, so I thought we'd put together this list of things we wish we would have known before that first cycle tour. We hope that you guys can learn from some of our mistakes so that you don't have some of the pains we had during our first cycle tours. Number 1, get a proper saddle for your body type. I wish so badly I had known this before the first cycle tour, because I had massive saddle pain, and it turns out my saddle was way too small for my hip bone size, like the sit bones. And so when I went to a bike shop, which bike shops have this, you can actually get measured at some bike shops, and mine were way more than the set saddle that usually comes with bikes. So I needed to get a saddle that actually fit my body, because if not, it's gonna cause a lot of chafing and rubbage and just be a lot of pain. So women in general too tend to have wider sit bones than men. And unfortunately for women, the stock bike seats tend to be designed for men. So my advice is get yourself measured, find a proper saddle that fits for you, and it'll save you so much pain down the road.
Number 2, chamois or not. This is a hotly debated topic among cyclists, and especially those doing long tours. We found that it really depends on your comfort level. For example, Liz does much better with a lightly padded chamois, whereas I have learned over the years that I do much better if I just wear underwear and shorts, and that's it. I had to play with this for a number of years and just found that if I wore the padded shorts, I would get a lot of sores and have a lot of pain, but now that I've switched to something much lighter and thinner, I pretty much don't get sores and pain anymore. Number 3, you can't really train for a tour. That doesn't mean that you can't be in good shape and you can't put a lot of miles under your legs when you're preparing for a tour, but you can't prepare yourself fully for everything that's going to happen during a tour. And the level of fitness that's needed to keep yourself going for hours and hours every day, all day, for multiple days a week. Training for a tour is very different than training for a single big event like a half marathon or a marathon or something like that, because you are training, you're building up for one single event that happens all at one time. Whereas for a tour, this is something where you are going to be biking for 8 to 12 hours a day, every day, for multiple days and multiple weeks at a time, and that's just not something you can really prepare yourself for fully.
Yeah, we've always found that for the first about 11 or so days, it's gonna be kind of painful as your body adjusts to it. And there's just no really getting away with it.
For our very first tour that we did on the GDMBR in 2020, we didn't train at all. And I mean not even one time. There was an adjustment period that lasted around 13 days for that trip. When we were preparing for the London to Istanbul tour that we did last year, we actually did train quite a bit, but we still had that 11 to 12 adjustment period once we started.
On your first day, do low miles to kind of ease into your tour. This is not something we did on our first ever bikepacking trip on the Great Divide. We did like 62 miles our first day, had done 0 training, and we paid for it because this, like the saddle pain that we developed and stuff during that first day just kind of plagued us the rest of the tour. So I highly recommend easing your body into the first day. Also, issues can come up as you're preparing for a big trip. And so I think just giving yourself a lot of leeway that first day, and probably aiming for us, I think like 30 to 40 miles, no more than that for the first day. But obviously it depends on you, what you're doing and what your pace is and how many miles you're doing, but I would definitely not do anything too crazy mile-wise your first day.
And give yourself plenty of time that morning to make sure you've prepared everything and that you've brought everything with you. You don't want to have to be constantly running back and make sure you got everything, or doing any last-minute packing and trying to find out where to stick stuff. So give yourself plenty of time that first day.
Number 5, adjust your saddle as you go as pain arises. I feel like this is really important because sometimes just a slight adjustment in the saddle can make all the difference when it comes to like knee pain or saddle pain. And I think we've learned over the time that as soon as you're having those pains, just try adjusting your seat a little bit and seeing if that eases some of the pain. And we've had a lot of success doing that. On the first time we did the Great Divide mountain bike route, I was having some knee pain, and we adjusted the seat just a little bit, and it made such a difference. My knee pain literally went away. And then when we were in Bulgaria, when we biked from London to Istanbul, I was having horrific saddle pain, and like really bad, like I've never experienced before. And I wish I would have adjusted it sooner, because as soon as I like tilted my saddle a little bit differently, it made the pain go away. And so I would recommend just adjusting it as you go. If you ever take your bike into a bike shop, they probably are gonna adjust your saddle height too, and that's kind of what happened there in Bulgaria, is that when we were in the country before, when we got my bike fixed, they adjusted the saddle at the bike shop, and that's what caused the pain, and I didn't realize it until too late. But I would just adjust. As soon as you feel pain, adjust your saddle, and it makes a world of a difference.
Number 6. Go with the mindset that poor weather is inevitable and unpredictable.
That is a marble-sized piece of hail.
These winds are like 40 miles an hour. Bad time to be camping.
Our very first tour was a big wake-up call for me.
This is hail.
I had a lot of struggles because we had a lot of variable weather where it would be really beautiful outside, and then suddenly out of nowhere there would be a storm, and that really kind of messed with my ability to stay calm and cool throughout those times.
No. This sucks. This honestly sucks. It's hailing really bad right now.
It was very challenging for me, so just be aware that you can't control the weather, and you will have bad weather, and you're just going to have to push through it. And if it gets too bad, just book a hotel and stay a couple of nights there.
Yeah, and definitely plan your layers accordingly as well. Like, we would not have made any of our bike tours if we had not brought hard shell pants as well as tops, for example. Like, just expect lots of rain. You're literally on a bike tour subjected to the elements all day long, which is different than your normal life. So you just need to be prepared for being out in that weather. Or if it gets too bad, plan budget-wise and otherwise for a hotel. All right, number 7, you can always buy stuff along the way. So when it comes to packing, I think that's a really good mentality to have, because I think it's tempting to just feel like, oh, I might need this, or, oh, well, I won't be able to replace this one specific brand or whatever it is. But just know you can buy stuff along the way. Like, every single bike tour we've done, you go through towns fairly regularly. Even when we've done like the Great Divide where we're out for days on end, we still went through towns or could have gone off a little bit to go into towns fairly easily. And so my advice is to try to pack less and just know you can buy stuff as you go. So for example, when we were bikepacking across Europe, we were going through towns pretty much every single day. And so we would just buy our food the night before or the morning of, and just plan to go to grocery stores every day. Because you're going through towns anyways, you don't need to pack all that stuff. So my advice is kind of look at your route, see what you'll actually need for those spaces between towns if you're going someplace remote, and just know you can buy stuff along the way.
And I still fantasize about getting fresh bread from a German bakery every morning.
And finally, number 8, get the Warm Showers app. Staying with host is gonna enrich your trip so much. So we did not do this on our first 2 cycling tours, in part because we're both like introverts and we felt like it would be very awkward to just stay with strangers. So I guess for those who don't know what Warm Showers is, it's where other cycle enthusiasts open their homes to cycle tours, and it's really great, this sharing platform. And we were both very hesitant. We knew when we went and did the London to Istanbul trip, we really wanted to do that. And I'm so glad we did, because our host days are some of our most memorable experiences on our whole trip. And I just think it really adds to it. You can learn so much more about the culture and about the environment. They can give you tips on where you can go. That definitely saved our butts a number of times on our cross Europe adventure. And so definitely join Warm Showers and get outside your comfort zone if you're like us, and stay with strangers. It's fun, I swear.
And that wraps up the 8 things we wish we knew before we started bicycle touring. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other bike touring tips that would be useful, please let us know in the comments and give the video a like and subscribe to our channel. That would really help support us, and we'll see you in the next video.